So you want to put your child on your deed while you're alive in the state of Georgia. Let's talk about that. There are about 4 reasons why people choose to put their child's name on their deed while they're still alive. And I think they do this because they are either trying to solve a problem or they want to gift their kid the property. And one reason actually might be a solution for a problem that they are facing. And when you choose to put your child on the deed while you're still alive, there is capital gains ramifications that come with that you may not be aware of. So let's dive into the 4 reasons why, maybe some alternative solutions. And if you choose to do this to your deed while you're alive, then going in with eyes wide open, understanding the capital gains ramifications around it. The first reason why people will put their child's name on their deed is they're trying to avoid probate. So what they'll do is they'll set up the deed as joint tenants with rights of survivorship. Rights of survivorship allows you to avoid probate because all you have to do is file an affidavit with the county courthouse showing that your loved one passed away, and then the house is 100% inherited from a probate standpoint to that person who is still alive. Oftentimes, husbands and wives have a joint tenancy with rights of survivorship, and if there's only one parent left, sometimes they will put their child on that and do this to think that they are avoiding probate. One solution around this is our new transfer upon debt deed that the state of Georgia just implemented. This deed allows you, while you're alive, to name a beneficiary on that deed. And once you pass away, that beneficiary can go to the courthouse and say that they want to get that transferred into their name. Now, there's some caveats to this. The beneficiary has to do it within 9 months after their loved one has passed. If they wait 9 months to a day, that property will have to go through probate. Also, you can reverse the beneficiary on your transfer upon death deed while you're still alive. So let's say your beneficiary, becomes difficult and you don't want them to be a beneficiary anymore, or maybe they become incapacitated and you need to set up other means that they inherit the house. Then you can reverse this and choose to go down other estate planning routes. The second reason that I hear is oftentimes parents may be getting older and they want to put their child on the deed so their child has control of the property. Now, there are other ways that you can give the child control of the property without putting their name on the deed. One of the ways is you can set up a trust and name them as a trustee, and they can sign on your behalf. And you can also create a financial power of attorney so they can sign on your behalf. So they completely have control of the property, can sell it, can manage it, can do whatever they need to with it on your behalf because they have those tools in place to do so. The third reason that I hear that people want to put their child's name on a deed is they actually want to gift them a home. They enjoy the fact that they can give them a home and watch that child enjoy that home while they're still alive. And this can be done if you do it strategically. You need to do it with the tenants in common type of deed. Tenants in common allows you to split up real estate fractionally, meaning that you as a parent can own 99% of the home and the child can own 1% of the home. And we'll get into the importance of why you owning the majority of the home is important when we get down into the tax section, because I want to dive in a little bit deeper of why that is the route you should go if you choose to gift your child a home. The fourth reason why people sometimes want to put their child on the deed while they're still alive is because of Medicaid. Now, I am not an attorney, so I want you to go and seek out an attorney who specializes in Medicaid. And this takes some pre-planning because Medicaid has a 5-year look back on your assets. So if you know that you're going to need some kind of care in the future and you don't want them to go after your equity in your house, you can put your child's name on the deed so that then it's in the child's name and Medicaid can't come after that asset because it's in the child's name. Again, I am not an attorney. You need to go seek out one that specializes in this if this is the route you want to take. And if this is the route you want to take, then you need to go in with eyes wide open on the tax ramifications that the child could have down the road after you pass away. So let's get into those tax ramifications. Hang with me. We might get a little bit in the weeds on this. I am not a CPA, so if you want to get super granular, go find your favorite CPA. And let's get in the weeds so we can kind of understand the tax ramifications behind when you stick your child on the deed while you're still alive. Let's talk about the basis. There's two different kinds of basis. There is the carryover basis and there's the cost basis. The cost basis is the value of your home the day you bought it. So if you bought that house at $100,000, then your cost basis is $100,000 even when you sell it. Then there's the step-up basis. If your child is not on the deed and you pass away, then they get a step up in basis on that property. So if that house is worth $500,000 the day you died, your child's step-up basis becomes $500,000. And if they sell that property within the next year, they most likely won't have any capital gains. And if they do, it will be very small. In our $500,000 example, let's just say you go ahead and you put your child's name on the deed while you're alive and you do it with joint tenancy. So you own half and they own half. And then let's say you pass away. They will get a step up in basis for your portion of the property. They get stuck with the carryover basis. So if they were to sell this house immediately after you die at that $500,000 value, there's a chunk of money there that the federal government is going to tax them on. Let's look at what those numbers look like. To figure out the amount of money that they'll be taxed on, we're going to take that $500,000 and subtract it from the $100,000 that you bought it for. That's going to give you your money because they owned half and you owned half and they get your half to step up. We're going to divide that by 2. It's going to give us $200,000 that the federal government's going to be looking at to tax your child on. Now, it's a scale on how much you're going to get taxed depending on where you are in the tax bracket, but let's go extreme. Federal government can take all the way up to 20%. If you take 20% of $200,000, that equates to around $40,000. And for the state of Georgia, the highest amount they can tax you at is 5.75. So if you take 5.75 of $200,000, that gives you $11,500. Add that together, that equates to $51,500. That money could have stayed in your child's pocket and in their inheritance, and instead, because you chose to go that route, they now have to pay that tax when they could have inherited it. Let's talk about that tenants in common scenario where you gift them 99% while they owe 1%, and you do this while you're alive. Well, when you pass on, they get 99% step up in basis. And 1% of that $400,000, remember, $500,000 minus the $100,000, the $400,000, 1% of that is only $4,000. And 20% capital gains tax for the federal winds up being $800. And for the state of Georgia, if you multiply that $400,000 by 5.75%, that equates to $230 for a grand total of $1,030. I don't know about you, but $1,030 is a easier pill to swallow than $51,000. if you have to put your child's name on the deed while you're alive due to Medicare, at least you know the tax ramifications that's going to happen in the future, and you guys are going in with eyes wide open. It breaks my heart, though, when I see people lose a loved one, and because their loved one thought they were doing the right thing when they were alive, they just didn't realize that there's this huge tax burden. It's sad enough they lost their loved one not to have this on top of everything else. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you need anything around real estate in the greater Atlanta area, please let me know. If you need help in other parts of Georgia or other parts of the United States, I can connect you with a good real estate agent. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Are you digging the kind of content I'm producing? Then be sure to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be in the know when I release my next video.